Now in Shanghai, I was supposed to get a single bed. They don't have enough single bedrooms, and so there's like, oh, we're just gonna put you in a double. So I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'll take it. This is a hotel inn. I did not expect myself to book something like this. I think this is by far the cleanest and quote-unquote fanciest hotel, and it's not too expensive, and you get like this amazing view. And I got a late dinner, some noodles covered in a shit ton of chilies, and then we got a bowl of vegetables, and then of course we gotta get chocolate. I don't think that's really Shanghainese food, but I just needed to eat something. See you guys. After obliterating a basket of overpriced but juicy soup dumplings, I hopped on an Alipay bicycle and rode it towards the bund. I highly recommend biking in China because it's the best way to feel the Chinese wind and see the Chinese buildings, uncles and aunties. You know, I thought I was going to be the first one to visit the bund out of my whole family, but to my surprise, my father already visited it when he was in his teens. He said back then he saw the custom house, but there was no Oriental Pearl Tower, which is kinda hard to imagine because the Pearl Tower is what everyone thinks of when you say Shanghai. Stepping into the bund area, I felt like I was being transported back to New York City to some extent. There were many foreigners, tall financial buildings, and rivers filled with boats. There were also lots of buildings that had hints of British influence, and yeah, there were lots of people. So now we are in the bund, in Chinese called Waitan, and if you look closely enough, you can see the building, the iconic Shanghai building, but we'll get a closer look up there. And that is the Oriental Pearl Tower, because if you look closely enough, there's two pearls. Pretty cool. Lol, they got the ox from Wall Street from New York. I guess it's a financial sector. As I was walking around, I learned that one of the Shanghai specialties is the crab roe noodles, and there's this shop nearby. Boy oh boy, you can just see all that oil and umami-ness through the screen. This dish was superb, and yeah, I'm kind of biased because I originally really love crabs. While waiting for the lights, I was going crazy with my camera. I was shooting left and right in different angles, and eventually 3 guys asked me about my camera.
Oh, 这么帅吗？ 赶紧来考试，你那发回去。我要好好学，应该很有钱。你看你很瘦。
The gentlemen were barbers, and we shared many stories about what it was like to live in China versus United States. They eventually invited me to come with them to Lujiazui to see the 3 iconic buildings. Lujiazui was beautiful. The Pearl Tower was lit up with blue and pinkish lights, outlining its unique silhouettes. There were elevators taking us to different platforms to better soak in the beauty of the financial district.
他给你拍，
哎，没关系，我这个给我妈看一下，我给我妈看一下，
他能现在看到吗？今天就靠您自己了，到时候微信跟您说。
可以。
不是3点到了。
We eventually made it to the iconic center of the 3 financial buildings, and oof. There were way too many people there. There were so many photographers and people taking pictures because there's this iconic picture where the camera would be on the floor facing up, and the goal was to capture a person in between the 3 financial buildings. There were many photographers trying to sell their service to us, but I had a camera and I got all of us the same picture but for free. It was a really fun time with the 3 dudes, and I will admit, from time to time, I would stalk their WeChat profile moments and see what they're up to. On my way back, they told me how much they really wanted to see a real USD dollar, and luckily I had a few dollars on me and gave them it. They were super intrigued about it because it was their first time seeing one physically. Thinking back, that day was very special to me because of the 3 dudes I met. I really appreciate them striking a conversation with me because if they didn't, I would have never had a chance to interact with them. And you know what? Next time I travel, I'll be the one striking conversations with locals. Watch me do it. Oh. Right off the bat, what do we have? Soup dumplings, roast pork buns, shrimp dumplings. Don't yuck my yum. And then last but not least, I got myself a porridge. My mom is calling me, but I gotta eat first. Sorry, Mom. This porridge is so good. You can't really see much. You might think like, oh, porridge is just rice and water, but this is a savory porridge. It's very umami. They have a little bit of the lean and fat pieces of thinly sliced pork, preserved duck eggs. Here is the shrimp dumpling. Let's go. Yeah. The shrimp is very QQ bouncy. A lot of juice inside of there. This is really delicious. Inside is like pork and chives. I think just a little bit of ginger. Let's get some chicken feet. Guys, I know some places, some people, you're like, ew, eat chicken feet, but you should give it a try. It's usually cooked inside this like black bean sauce. Let's go. There's like minced pork inside with visible pieces of fat. Ooh, also, do you like my Carhartt shirt I bought? My first Carhartt shirt. I'm gonna finish the food, I'm gonna call my mom later, and I'll peace out. After that big back meal, I decided that the next day I needed to touch some grass in the garden. So I hit up the U Garden. It's a pretty touristy garden, and looking back, I definitely think Suzhou has better gardens. Nonetheless, I still enjoy strolling through the ancient style buildings. Just imagine yourself under these traditional style roofs alongside small ponds and willow trees. As the summer wind blows past, you see the branches sway from side to side. And as the fish swim past, you see the small ripples gradually fade away. Unlit lanterns and unused calligraphy brushes made the room feel frozen in time. It felt like time slowed down as I strolled through the park because everyone around me was stopping to appreciate the serenity of this moment. People started to take notice in the smallest things. Things that they would never stop to notice outside of the garden. Elderlies were resting on wooden benches gossiping. Families taking pleasure walking over a stone makeshift bridge. But most importantly, I found a few ducks, feathers as white as snow, paddling with their tiny webbed feet, causing small ripples that dispersed the glitter on the pond surface. And like the ducks, I fled away into a mystical moon gate and transported to the Jingan temple. It's an ancient Buddhist temple and it's known for its golden pagodas. It's pretty unique because it has a huge contrast from its surrounding modern buildings. It's well known for its gold coloring, and I remember how the color was even more exaggerated during golden hours. There were people lighting incense while others were trying to throw some kind of coin into the incense burner in the hopes of wealth, good luck, and for their dreams to come true. But I didn't have any coins, so I guess my wishes won't be granted. Womp womp. After visiting China, I realized how important Buddhism is to them. Every city I went to had some important temple for Buddhism, and I find myself drawn to these even though I'm not religious. My parents aren't really Buddhists, but they do burn the incense for certain occasions and put out food offerings for New Year's. But that's about it. Oh, and growing up, I really disliked the incense smell, and my mom would always tell me that I can't say that. After a pretty tame outing in the garden and temple, I needed something to make me feel more alive, you know? Throw in a little pizzazz. I went to Shanghai Circus World and oh my lord, that was crazy. Hello everybody. I don't even know what to say. That show inspired me to try my best at getting good at something. It's just so crazy about the stunts that they were doing there. For example, one of the stunt was there was like 7 people on motorcycle bikes inside a spherical cage, and they were all just like riding and they were not colliding. And then the other segments were like people on trampolines, not trampolines, but like those like jumping thingies, seesaw thingies, and they were catching people like 50 feet up in the air, curtains draping down. One of the trick was they were all the way up here and then they just like spun and raveled the way down. Another one was there's a single pole, there's a guy and this girl were literally just climbing the pole with ease. The woman was standing on the guy doing the flag pole. So it was just so crazy how much core strength that they had. We got some noodles, and then here is another one. I need some veggies, so let's go. Wok egg. And this is perfectly balanced, the right amount of saltiness and sweetness. I'm gonna go in for just classic strip of vegetable. I got myself a pair of Onitsuka tiger shoes. It's the yellow one. I've been looking at those for so long, but I never pulled the trigger, but today I pulled the trigger. I got my sister a nice comb. They said it's like from a very good wood that's round tip, so it's good for your scalp and it helps with like blood circulation. So it's a very good comb. Hopefully my sister likes it, but that's all. I'll see you guys. This was my last day in Shanghai. I wandered around Tianzifang and really enjoyed the narrow alleyways with brick walls. It made me feel like I was Harry Potter shopping for his wand in Diagon Alley. For some unknown reason, I was really drawn to the concept of rabbits that day. I stopped by White Rabbit Candy Shop and bought lots of different White Rabbit candy. They had some weird flavors like wasabi. I also found a store called Bland Bunny and bought some Alice in Wonderland British Rabbit Vibes cup and tea set for my sister because she was born in the year of the rabbit. So yeah, lots of rabbit references. Lastly, so many people online recommended tourists to try out the Royal Banquet experience. You go in and choose to dress up in a historical hanfu, watch some traditional performances, and eat traditional foods. The goal is to give people the experience of what it was like to be a royal back in historical times. And I'll be fully honest, I thought it was going to be overhyped. I thought the performances and foods were going to be mid, but boy was I wrong. The performances were full-on skits. There were dances, and performers interacted with the crowd. The food was also spectacular. Between every performance, there were some projectors projecting some kind of art onto your plate, animating a story of the origins and summary of the food that was going to be brought out. And when they bring the food out, they also serve it to you as if you are a royal. I mean, just look at this braised pork belly. Super fat, full of umami flavors. Then I washed it down with, I actually don't know what this drink was, but it was super tasty. Cool, now let's watch three ladies play limbo, limbo, limbo under some silk, and then listen to some guys talk about tea and love.
那里有千年的茶树，还有千年的爱情啊。
He said that there was a place that had 1,000 years of tea and 1,000 years of love. How did he know I got no riz? Chill out, bro. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys watch these performances because it's pretty good. Pretty good performance, right? Oh, and this fishball soup was actually goated. I may be biased though because fishball is my province's specialty. Also, last time I had a hawthorn tanghulu was when I was maybe 3 years old in China, so it was really nice to have it again. They also gave some complimentary zhongzi because it was Duanwujie. Northerners eat it sweet, but Southerners eat it salty, and I think salty version is just better. I will fight anyone who says otherwise. After that fat meal, it was time for me to return to being a commoner. Womp womp. So I went to check out 1,000 Trees. The 1,000 Trees is actually designed by the same guy who designed the little island in New York City. I also love this wall. It utilized 2D art and 3D physical objects to create a final art piece which was very unique and clever. And hello, this is me doing a mirror selfie. Next to the 1,000 Trees had some small stands selling arts and crafts. After that, I bought some pastries, as if I didn't eat enough, and then took the metro back to my hotel because tonight was about to get a little bit crazy. Look at that. We got this pistachio chocolate cake, and then a small sponge cheesecake. I know, I have a big bag, but let's dig in. Alright, let's go for a bite. So chocolatey. Very good. And then, oops, a little chocolate on my lip, but we have this guy. Let's go in for a bite. It's like eggy, like cheesy. It's like a big ass toast. It's like a croissant. Yum! That night, I craved some Shake Shack and then waited outside of a park for INS to open. I went to the Hush floor and dude, the DJs were so good with the hip hop songs, like it was crazy. It's currently 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning and I just finished coming out from INS. It is a club, but I went there because I was really interested in the hip hop floor and I stayed there for like 4 or 5 hours just listening to hip hop, and it was such a great experience because the musicality and the art was just perfection. Yeah, I was pretty cooked the next morning, but I'll do it all again. Next stop is Suzhou. See ya. Thanks for watching.